All right, here we are again for another TARDIS video. Jay apparently went ahead and cut a whole bunch of stuff in between videos here. So we actually have these, which you'll be seeing a little more close up in a minute, which are basically on the sides of each rib. And we're gonna do work on that and a few other things. And let's get this cracking. Alrighty, so here we are. Another little bit of narration. And as you can see, I'm trying to figure out the added little pieces that go on each of the ribs. So basically on each side you get that little triangle piece, and then on top of that there's another longer, slightly thicker piece that just allows everything to fit together in a wedged type of framework. So lots of gluing, and then the nail gun, and as you see in this other view here, as we're putting more the second piece in here, lots of glue, and then getting it all set up, just making sure everything's correct. And then doing the other side. So we just want to do the one test first, make sure everything was working out and being the way it should be before just kind of setting up to do all of them at once. Because again, there's 6 of these ribs, and so here we are just doing the triangles one at a time. Well, one on each side, and then doing that part first, and then we're going to come back and do the longer parts. Actually, looking at this and fast forward makes me feel like it didn't take us very long, but this took us quite a while to do. It took us a couple hours. This whole video, the actual running time of the raw footage is a couple hours long, but it gives you an idea about how much the production work goes as you get into a groove. You can also see Jay's kids trying to get in on the action there. Big YouTube fans themselves. We're going, getting them done. It's kind of neat. Once you get in kind of a groove, you do get going really quick and good. And it was really helpful that Jay had all this cut before we even got together. So you don't get to see them being cut and measured and everything, but you do get to see the benefit of the work. And here we are, slightly going through and finishing up. So then we wanted to bring over the base, and we want to get that core done. So we already previously cut the core pieces before. I think I mentioned that in the last video. And so we had to trim down some more wood though for the side. So basically there's going to be a top and a bottom, which are those trapezoid shapes that will be the center part of the entire top part of the console that the top drawers themselves will rest against. So then obviously we have the sides for that so that they can stand up. And then so we glued and then nail gun those together, and then we screwed them after as well, just to make sure that they're going to hold very well, because they're just pine. You're not going to see those much. It's not too much of a worry as far as look of the rest of it. Afterwards, what you're not going to see in this video is that there will be a frame put around the entire outside, a rectangle within a frame of MDF, about 2 inches thick, going in and around. So at the end of it, that's how they'll look, but for the most part we do need these, and plus we will be putting holes through these the ribs as well to create a sort of system to lock it in with nuts and bolts after. So we can disassemble it fairly simple, but also hold it together without drilling it in or screwing it in or gluing it all together. Here we're just making sure everything's fitting. We had drawn, you can't see it in this video again, but we did draw how everything should be fitting on top of that base, just to get an idea. So here we're just kind of making sure, is this going to work? It looks like it was, so we're very, very pleased actually how well it looked like it was going. So then we continue on making more. So again, just like the ribs, there are 6 of these to do as well. So the process, once you get in the groove, do it over and over and over and over again until you have all 6 pieces. This part actually went pretty quick. We did have to do a couple steps, so Jay had a number of different drills there, one for actual pre-drilling and one for setting the screw in there. But it also gives you an idea about how high this is going to be when it's done, because that's pretty much the top right before the column, the hexagon that goes on before the column. So that gives you a nice view of the height. Obviously you can't see it on the floor here, the base, but gives you a nice little idea. One thing we also didn't show is that we did test out the side ribs with one of the drawers just to make sure everything was going to line up properly, and it did. So we were very, very pleased about that. So there you go. All 6 done. We felt very good about that. And then we played around with it.
Alrighty, so as you've been watching that really fast montage there, hopefully you saw what we did, which is basically get everything ready. So we have all the ribs done, and I'll see if I can grab one to get a quick view of that. They're very heavy now. So we have the rib, we have the side pieces here, and the little track piece. Try to get you a view right there. You can see that. So yeah. That'll help hold all the drawers and everything from there. Then we worked on a little bit of the inner core. So the inner core is going to still have to be connected together in a way to make it nice and firm, and then it has to have a face on it. So basically, more MDF sitting on the face of it to create a kind of window frame. So the window frame basically allows it to all sit together and keeps it nice and flat. So we have that to do, and then connect them together. And then those ribs will slide in, and we will figure out how to connect them. We're going to use some bolts and get them in here. So this is where we're at. The next build day, we'll actually be finishing this up and then starting on the bottom drawers. So we did a quick little test that I didn't film just to make sure that everything was actually lining up right. And it looks like everything's lining up pretty decent. So if you have any questions or comments or anything, put them down below. I hope you guys have been enjoying this build diary as opposed to just kind of showing really quick stages of how everything goes. I'm pretty excited about doing it this way. It's kind of fun to show the trials and tribulations of building a weird six-sided project with lots of different angles and everything. There's a lot of angles on this thing. So anyway, if you want to keep abreast of everything going on and you want to see more videos, be sure to click over here, subscribe, and go through and check out my last ones too. I think this is number 13 now, so there's probably going to be another maybe up to 15 before it's built, and then we'll continue on getting all parts and putting that all together. So if you want to keep it, in touch with that, just be sure to do that. Also, be sure to check out my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, which is going to be linked below in the description. I post a lot of things on there and some teasers and everything for sure on that. Anyway, thank you so much for liking and subscribing, but most of all, thanks for watching.